Hey everyone, welcome back to our HTML tutorial series. Today we are diving into one of the most interactive part of the web development, that is HTML forms. By the end of this video, you will know how to create forms, collect user data like registration forms, login pages and contact forms. So let's get started. So first we'll understand what are forms. So what exactly is an HTML form? Okay, so a form is an HTML element that collects input data using interactive controls. Okay, think about every time you have logged into a website, sign up for an account or fill out a survey form. That's a form in the action. Okay, so here the forms are created by placing input fields within your HTML structures, and they give you an incredible flexibility in the designing layouts. The basic syntax of the form is with a simple form tag. Okay, so inside this form tag you are going to write the form attributes. Okay, now, let's explore the different types of inputs you can use in the forms. Each one serves a specific purpose. Okay, so the first form input is text. Okay, so text input here first, your basic text input when you are typing your name, address, those things. Okay, so we call it as a text input. This creates a single line text field where user can type information. So here you can see the label. So label which is specifying the name of the input type you are using here. Okay, that should be labels give the meaning form elements. So which form elements you are going to give, making it clear what information goes where. Okay, so it's essential part of the accessible and user experience. So for that reason we have mentioning the label for input type. So here input type is equal to text and name is equal to username. So this is username, name is important when you connect to the backend. But now it's okay. If you did not give the name also, it will work. But if you give the name, so when you connecting to the backend to form, when it goes action type, so that type it is needed. Okay. So name. So whatever the field you are using, that you should write, because relevant name should be easy to understand when you connecting to the backend. So for that reason we are using the relevant name for a input field. Okay, so next is the email input. Okay, so here we have the email input type. So this is type is equal to email. Okay, so here it accepts the valid email formats. Okay, so for that reason we are using here input type is equal to email. If you did not mention email, it will not consider it as an email or anything. If you enter anything, it will accept it. If you write it as an email, then it accepts only valid email format. Okay, so the browser will automatically validate that user enters a proper email address. Okay, right, so it will check. So this is email input, and the same way it just input box when you enter, so it will check. Okay, so the label, why we are using, you understood, right? So label is important for giving a meaning to form elements. So instead of just an input box becomes user cannot able to understand what is the input type we need to enter here. So the box is for name and this is one for email, then has to be understand. So for that reason we are giving the label part. Okay, so now you have understood about text input and email input, right? So next one is the radio button. Okay, so the radio buttons are used when you one more thing. Sorry, before going to radio button, I will explain password as a input. Okay, so the password for secure data entry, we use the password into input type. So this automatically hides the characters when user enters in the input box. Okay, so if we give an type is equal to password, when you are entering your characters, it will hide. If you are not used the password, means it will not hide. Okay, so for that reason we have to mention type is equal to password. Okay, it is perfect for login forms and registration forms. Okay, so the next one is a number input. Okay, the number input is a type restrict entry to the numeric values only whenever you are entering numbers, so like age or date of birth, that type. Okay, so not date of birth, age or some other any numbers you are entering. semesters, third semester, fourth semester, when you are entering your college, which year. So there you are entering only numbers, no need of characters, right? That time you should use the numbers. So you can set the minimum and maximum values. So by that you can add your details to the number format. So here age type is equal to number. So age, name age, minimum is 1, maximum is 100. Like this, you can set the min max value for the input number type. Okay, we'll move on to the next one is radio button. uh, Radio button, next input is radio button. So radio buttons are used to when you want user to choose one option, so from several choices. If we are having only one option going to choose in with a multiple choices, okay, that time we are using the radio buttons. I think you can see in the forms, female or male. Okay, those type you are just selecting the button, right? So those buttons we call it as radio buttons. It look like this. So here we have to mention type is equal to radio. Here we always mention type is equal to radio and name is equal to gender. Value, we should mention the value because we are using the same type multiple values, right? So for that reason the value we have to give each value, whatever the value we have given, so that should be mentioned because it is very important when you are sending data to backend. Okay, so that time it is very important, so you have to maintain in the same order and practice in the same way, so then it is easy to you when you connecting to the backend. Okay, so name should be gender and value should be different for each value. Okay, so here the name attribute all radio buttons is the same. Okay, the group must have the same name. So this is complete one group, right? So the group must have the same name. This ensures only one can be selected at a time. So if you give different name, so you cannot able to select anyone. You can select all the elements. Okay, so you have to select anyone. For that reason the name should be same name. Okay, so this is radio buttons. Next one is check boxes. So check boxes will be look like this, right? So check boxes we are using checkbox. Type is checkbox. Unlike radio buttons, checkboxes lets users select multiple options. So here in radio buttons, you are going to select only one option. So in checkboxes, you can select multiple. So you are having the multiple skills, right? HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So those time you are going to select multiple options. So that time you are going to select uses the check boxes. Okay, here you can check type is equal to checkbox, name is same because the group of elements name should be same. Here it is very important for surveys, uh, preferences or any situation where multiple selection makes sense. Okay, so you can understand the requirements of form. So you have to think on it which type of data you are taking. If you are taking multiple input from user, you have to choose the check boxes. If you are taking multiple group of elements with a single choice, then you are going for the radio button. Okay, so now you understood about radio buttons and check boxes, right? So next move on to the select drop down option. Okay, so the drop down or select option you already seen in many forms. So for longer list of options, if you're having multiple options with a drop down is perfect. Okay, so they are created using select tag. So for that one we are using the select tag. Name is course. Okay, so select tag we are using for drop down option. So for drop down options we are going to use option. Okay, so option tag value, whatever the values we are entering with each option, we have to give the option tag. Within the option tag, in option tag we are using value attribute. So value should be different for each options. Okay, understood? So this keeps your forms clean and organized, especially when you have many options. Okay, so this is about select option. Okay, so next one is text area. So the text area needs users to enter multiple lines of text. Okay, so here you can see text area and you should use the tag text area and name is equal to message. You can write anything. Rows and columns you should mention. So based on the rows and columns and that much lines you are going to enter in your text area. Okay, so it is perfect for comments, feedbacks, or any longer text formats, or if you want to going to write about yourself for resume forms, so like that you are going to use. Okay, so next form input is submit button. Okay. One second, before going to submit button, I will explain some of the fields. So that is file upload. Okay, so file upload, you are using uploading a resume or uploading a photo, uploading a signature with the some of the examination forms, right? So those we are using file upload. Okay, you can also let users upload file directly through forms. Okay, forms through you can upload. Here we are using input type is equal to file and name anything whatever you are going to taking from the user as a file, so that name you are going to give here. So this is commonly used for profile pictures, document uploads, and many more. Okay, so next one is hidden input. Sometimes you need to store data that users shouldn't see or modify. So that what hidden inputs are for. Okay, here you can see input type is equal to hidden, name, user ID, value 101. Okay, this is useful for passing along a session IDs or tracking information or other behind the scene scenes data. Okay, whenever you are hiding something, so that time you can use the hidden input. Okay, sorry, wait. Next, I told you submit button, right? So submit button. So, but in buttons we are having submit button. So here we are using input type is equal to submit. Okay. So type is equal to submit means when you're filling the form and click on the submit button, so it is taking a whatever the form you fill, it take it as a data. Okay. So this is submit button. So in the same way, we are having reset button. If we are using type is equal to reset means whatever the form data you have filled, it will be vanished. Okay, so that is reset button. So next one is field set. So field set is used for groups of a related form elements. So if we are using a personal information, so personal information you are taking their ID, their ID details, or their address, their personal family details. So those details you can group it as a personal information. Educational details, so educational details also you can group it, so like college name, the semester where they have done education. So those details if you are collecting, it is a related single group, that time you can make it as a group of related form elements using the field set. So inside field set you are going to write the form elements, it will look like a group of separate forms. I will show you an example with the practicals. Just here theoretically part I'm going to explain. Okay, next form. Okay, so this is a simple student registration form. You can see here name, input type is equal to text, name is name, and input type is equal to number, name is equal to age. Here gender and select button. Okay, the form will look like this. You can see here the output form will look like this. Let's create this form with a VS Code. Okay, with the practical sessions, let's create this form. We'll go into the practical session. Okay, let us take a boilerplate code and I will show you the creating a form. Okay, just I'll run this one by side output. If you are seeing means it will be more understandable for you. Just side by side I will show you. Okay, let us start with the form. The form tag. Inside form tag we are ready. So just h1 form elements. Okay, okay, let us take first form element is just create that form. Just I'll show you simple login form now. Okay, form element, or we'll take it as login form. login. So just login form. I'm going to create a username. Okay, we'll take it as a label. Label. Okay. No need to write for. Just write label. It's name. Okay, write a username. Okay. Username. After this one, I'm going to write input. Input type is equal to name is text, right? And name is equal to name, right? So let us close this one. This input box doesn't have the closing tag. Just refresh this one. See, login form, username with the input box. So here you can enter any text. Okay. So this is for input box. Okay. After this, we are going to create one more input box. Okay, just I'll copy. Okay, username. Password. Here also we should take password. Just I'll show you how it will work. Okay. So now it is coming beside username. So I want it in downside. So if we want it in after the username, so downside means we are going to use break statement. Okay. Break statement means it will come on the next. If I use like this, it will come to next username. But I need one more space. It looks good. Okay. So for that reason, I'm using one more break statement. Now it's came with the space. Okay. Okay, now I'll enter some user data and password also I'm entering some. So it is visible, right? So password means it should not be visible. So for that reason only we have to use the type is equal to password. So if I refresh this one, so if I enter anything in a password, it is invisible, right? So for that reason we have to use this is the login form. So login form means you need to create like this. So this is enough for login form. Just will create one student registration form. Now you have to understand some radio buttons and all I will add and show you. So okay, here I'm going to add the name and will add age instead of password. Okay, password is also only it, no issues. I'm taking age now. Age we are using number, right? Just I'll add age. So type is what? Number. So here it's age. Again, we are adding break statement here. Just to refresh this one, you are getting age. For age, you could not able to add any characters here. Only you can add numbers. So just one it is taking. So here we are having two buttons, increment and decrement. So it is going minus. So if we add minimum and maximum here, minimum is equal to 1. So max is equal to 100. So now if I enter 1, so if I decrease, nothing will come because I had given minimum and maximum value, right? So I have created the condition here. Minimum is 1, maximum is 100. So if I enter 110, if I increment, it could not able to take. Okay, because the range is 100. After the 100, it will not increment. Okay, so this is for input type. So next one will take some radio button. Radio button we are going to take gender, uh, label, right? Label, gender. Okay. So after this one we'll add break. Okay. So after this one, input type is equal to radio, right? Input type is equal to radio and name is equal to gender. Just will close, and here we have to add, okay, value also we need to add here, right? So the value is equal to male. For the text also we have to write for understanding, so male. Okay, the next one more input box we are going to give here. Same, I am copy pasting. So here instead of male, just entering the name. Here also female. Just refresh this one here. So if we select male, it is. If I select female, the only one element is selecting here. Multiple elements will not be selected here. Okay. Why? Because name is gender. Okay. If I give something else, okay, here, if I give gender one, some different name I given. If I select or just refresh, if I select, both will select. Okay. So for that reason, the name should be saved for both group of elements. Okay. So this is about radio buttons. I think now you have understood about these things, right? So this way you are going to fill the forms. Registration form. This is the simple registration form. So just I'll add one more button. So what we'll add now? Okay, we'll add a select button. Select button. Okay. Put label. Label course. Okay. After this one, I am going to use select. So in select, name is equal to course, right? After this one, I'm going to write option. Okay, option. I'm entering BSc. Sorry, BSc. Okay, just similar. I'll add a 3 4. Okay, BCom. BCom. Just BA. B or BTech. Okay, so just I'll add multiple options. Then we'll close, select. Okay, so this way we are going to create, select this course, right? Now we have close, select. So next I'm going to take a break. So now let us close this one registration form, right? So one submit button. Okay, submit button, input type is equal to submit. Okay, input type is equal to submit. So just we'll call button name. Button name or okay, input type, right? So just you give value. Value you can give for what purpose you need registering, right? So register I'll give, and this is form closing. So just save it and refresh it. You will get okay. Pause. After this one, I'll give a break statement. Just refresh. The course come down. So if I select BCom, Register means okay. So if I click register, nothing it will display. Okay. So for we have to fill the form, right? So it should tell us. So for that reason here we have to mention required. There is one required attribute is there. If you enter that required attribute everywhere, it will ask. Okay. If I refresh this one, so if I directly submit, so it is asking fill out the field. So for this confirmation, we need to add the required attribute here. Okay, if I enter just so no password something I'll give, and age is 25, so female. Now we'll select BE or BTech, then register. Now it will went off. So now the form is submitted, right? Like this, you are going to create the forms. Just try to create like this one more field. In the next class, I will take some different example of the form. I will explain some other important things in the form. Okay. So and how to add styling. So you can check with our CSS part. So watch the CSS code, then implement styling for this page. Okay. So this is all about form. I think you have understood these forms, right? So this you need to practice and create your own forms, feedback form, survey form, or any job registration form, job application form. Like this you can create your own forms, then you will able to understand and you properly understand what is forms and all. Okay, so that's it for today's class. Practice more and happy coding.